Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Chambo Show. I'm your host, Ernest Chamberlain. In tonight's episode, we will reveal some haunting information as a juicy story unfolds between Stan the Man Kowalski and Blanche the Streetwalker Dubois. The two in-laws who will duke it out on tonight's stage, but let's meet our first guest, Blanche Dubois.
Thank you.
Good evening, Miss Dubois.
Good evening, honey. Can I implore you to turn the lights down in here? It's awfully light for my complexion.
I'm sorry, Miss Dubois, but the light is needed for our crew. Now on to the story at hand. So what seems to be the issue with you and Mr. Stanley?
Well, Ernest, it all started when I lost our family estate, Bella Reeve. Afterwards, I had nowhere to go but to my sister Stella's house. Unfortunately, when I arrived, she had already married a primate, Stanley. I tell you, sir, evolution skipped a generation in his family. Me being the proper lady I am, we were bound to clash with one another.
So what does Stanley do that angers you so much?
I had to watch day in and day out Stanley paraded around the house as if he were a king, treating my poor sister like garbage and beating her mercilessly. Even through all of this, my sister continues to crawl back to him. I could not survive if he was not there. My sister may tolerate such behavior, but I will not stand for such madness. He has done unspeakable things in that household, things that should never be repeated.
Interesting. Well, Blanche, we certainly have heard your side of the story. Now let's bring out the man, the myth, and the legend, Stanley Kowalski.
I refuse to be on the same stage as that animal.
Welcome, Stanley. It's nice to have you on my show today. Now, we have heard from Miss Dubois her side of the story, but we would not like to hear from you.
Yeah, whatever, man. You pay me to be here anyway. That dame Blanche, she's nuts, man. I'm telling you, straight nuts. Literally, when she was sent to some insane asylum because she kept screaming about some music and a gunshot. She even began claiming that I had touched her. I would never touch my wife's sister.
Very interesting, Mr. Kowalski. But we'll get to that later. But I want to hear what it is like when Blanche first moved in.
Ernie, my man, imagine hell, but with a lot more fur coats. That broad would always prance around in her white dresses with the $1 million pearls, acting like she was better than everyone else. I would have had a few of my acquaintances come down and check on the prices of each and every one of those valuables if it wasn't for my wife. And her suitcases, there must have been millions of dollars in clothes and jewelry. Though none of the clothes matches up with any of your shirt, Ernie. That is beautiful. I gotta tell you, man.
Ooh, thank you, Stanley. It's silk.
Yeah, looks good. No problem, E. That dame always eyeballing me. It's not an unusual occurrence for a woman to be checking me out, you know what I'm saying? But my wife's sister? I mean, that broad is straight...
Oh, Stanley. Filter. Now, I want to address the point that Blanche brought up to my attention.
Yeah?
She says you treat Stella like garbage and mercilessly beat her. Is this true, Mr. Kowalski?
What? I would never lay a hand on Stella. She's the apple of my eye, and I would never bruise that apple. If I see Blanche again, I'm gonna strangle that...
Whoa! Filter, Mr. Kowalski.
Oh yeah, daytime television. My B. Hey, did Blanche ever mention to you what she did in between the time she lost Bella Reeve and the time she showed up at my house?
She did not, Mr. Kowalski.
I got some juicy stuff for you here, Ernie boy. Old sweet perfect Blanche used to run around all night seeking comfort, if you catch my drift. With many different men down at the Hotel Flamingo.
Excuse me while I stretch.
Hey, do what you gotta do, man. Do what you gotta do. When she was finally kicked out of that rat hole, she came to our doorstep. Of course, that's all happened after. Well, come here, Ernie. I gotta think that the kids at home don't need to hear this one.
Oh my heavens!
I know,
that
man.
poor little boy!
I know, that's what I said. Yeah, I got all the information from some of my trusted acquaintances, so you know that's true.
Alright, this has certainly been a very interesting interview. But let's bring Baxter in on the set for some final opinions.
Man, I ain't staying anywhere where that psycho is. I don't want to rub enough on this. Man, I'm out. Man, peace. Yeah, man. It's a lie. It's all lies.
Actually, Miss Dubois, I had my cool crew pull up your records while Stanley was telling us the story. It seems as if Stanley was telling the truth. You have had relations with one of your students, been kicked out of a cheap, rundown hotel, and been sent to the insane asylum.
Oh no, I had been revealed? Turn that light off, please, for heaven's sake.
That's not all, Miss Dubois. I have here your medical records, and it seems that you are in fact pregnant. Not only that, but Stanley is the father.
No!
Looks like another case has been solved, ladies and gentlemen. Ernie, out.